The easiest way to assess whether you're vocally healthy is the ease in which you can produce a clear sound. A clear sound is one that is not extra breathy or has an undue amount of nasality to it or extraneous noise to it. So an example of extraneous noise, those extra little rattles in the sound, undue breathiness, very hard to sustain a sound like that. And then the nasality would be up in here. And so a balance, if you can think of your sound as being balanced and having some swing room there for interest when singing, but when we're trying to assess the instrument, and this is also in conjunction with a visit to a doctor, if you're ever worried about the health of your vocal folds, the only way to truly diagnose whether you're in good condition is to have somebody visually diagnose you. Other than that, the ease that you can make a clear sound. Some people can make a clear sound, but they've got to work hard to do it. So if you have a raspy voice like this, but if you push it, and a clear sound is produced, that amount of work in order to produce clarity is a sure sign that there's rigidity and swelling and usually some scar tissue going on downstairs. And so a good way to check whether or not you've got a clear sound is with the vowel U-H. That is the sound of a neutral throat. And we want to make sure there's as least amount of outside involvement in producing this clear sound. Again, it's the ease in which you create a sound. That's the test of vocal health. So we're going to just, right now, give me an just like you're trying to think of an answer to some question that's puzzling you. It will be in your most medial speech range, meaning I don't want you to sing a pitch. I want you just to utter a pitch. So females would be higher, males, Friday. It's like whatever sound you tend to make when you're thinking out loud, that's the sound I'm talking about. It is the sound of a throat in its resting position. And we want to use this because singing itself, the sound we produce, is a result of a three-way relationship. There's the air coming up, the air management, there is the behavior of the vocal folds, and then there's the contribution of all the air spaces around, the resonant tuning. And so all three of those have to be in agreement for a balanced sound to be produced. Now you know two-way relationships are hard enough. To get a three-way relationship balanced takes some decision making, meaning you've got to ask for a clear sound. But my thing is that I always want you to be comfortable when singing, so I put comfort as a first priority and control as second. You want to start with comfort and then ask for any particular sound you're singing. So now I will give you a pitch. Ladies, you'll be here. Guys, you'll be here. And we're going to utter this sound. If that's got a feeling, a sensation of resonance or buzzing in your chest, a little bit up in the head area here, if it feels evenly spread out throughout your body, that's a good signal. If it doesn't, as I make that kind of air sound, meaning the sound was flushed with air, I felt it primarily down here in my chest area. Or if I make an overly nasally sound, I don't feel that in my chest any longer. It's predominantly up in my head area. So again, an even spread, an even distribution of resonance is a good sign that it's a balanced tone you're making. And so A here below middle C for ladies, this A down here for guys is a general pitch area to concentrate on. That's usually where the folds are making a medial range, meaning it's right in the most easiest area for you to sing or produce a pitch. Now the act of singing through here is a different story. This is where coordination comes in. Because as we sing, we're going to be changing the pitch. And every pitch we sing needs a change in that equation or that three-way relationship between air and resonators. We sing scales like this all the time as singers. And the reason these scales are good, five-note scales, not just because we have 5 fingers on our hand, but because going outside of 4 pitches is a great test for resonant tuning and air management. If we keep the volume the same of a 5-note scale, and you keep the volume the same and keep the same, the shape of the vowel the same, you are coordinating the size of your resonator and the amount of air that you're bringing up. And you're doing this unconsciously, hopefully. This is a very subtle adjustment that takes place. But the size of your throat and the diameter of it needs to constantly adjust to be in agreement with the pitch you're singing. That's why the drums behind me here are different sizes, because each drum is a different pitch, so the size of the drum, the diameter of the drum has to change the lower the pitch. So that big bass drum there and the drum that's mounted on top of it are very different diameters because they're tuned to different pitches. Same thing needs to go on in your throat as you sing melodies. So I like to take it a step further than the scale, and in keeping with the anatomy of our body, there are no frets or keys inside. And so what I would like you to do is a slide. And I want you to pay close attention to the volume, stay the same, the trajectory, that it be very even, and the vowel sound, that it stay in The quality of the voice should remain the same as well. So there's a lot of points here to take care of. So give yourself some time, first get acclimated with doing the slide. Often people will be going too fast up or slow down or slow up and fast down. So just get the thing comfortable first, and then we can start asking for some details. I'll give you a few examples here. Now down here it'll be fairly easy, and again, females be up in here, up the octave. But if I take it up into an upper area of my voice, you might find the vowel sound collapsing into an That's not an that's a nasal version. And I want you to disallow that. I want you to chase down that sound and keep it as a target throughout the trajectory of this glissando. Keeping the volume the same requires more coordination. You can hear that little crossover that I did there. I didn't coordinate that so well. So that means this area I start here. So it means my fold is starting at a fairly medium mass and going to a thinner mass. It means my throat has to change dimension and the air pressure has to change in order to keep this a consistent sound. That's what we're looking for, a consistent, resonant, clear sound. If any of these areas are difficult, it doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy, it could mean that you're uncoordinated. So giving it some time and going through this exercise and achieving more and more of your voice in a consistent fashion is an excellent way to breed vocal health, because then it creates a base. You want this base as a foundation to your voice, where you can create the same clear sound from your lowest note to your highest note at the same volume. And the reason for that consistency, because it would be kind of boring if you did that as a target when singing, but this is the deal. Listeners need to know you're making choices with your voices. And if we hear irregularities in the singing and it doesn't coincide with a lyric, then we get suspicious as listeners that it may be the singer just out of control or lacking skill. And so to really sort of let your listener dissolve into your singing, get taken away by the expressiveness of your singing, we have to demonstrate that we have comfort, that we're in comfort, and that we have control, that we're making musical, artistic choices with our voice. So there's nothing wrong with going to a little breathy sound up there, or if it coincides with a lyric. but I'm not giving you any lyrics here. So we want to make sure the instrument is checked out as consistent and healthy first, and then it becomes a great vocal playground. Have at it.